Merge relation approach here in this particular step. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, anyone? Why we can't use?
Ma'am, because one of it is partial participation and other is total participation, and it has a
Yeah,
constraint. Yes, ma'am.
we means that things we already know, but the actual thing means uh, if we enter data, if we use that particular approach, that is merge relation approach, and if you insert data in that particular resultant table, then what will happen?
It may leads to the data leak.
Data leak means, can you explain? Okay, so if we merge these two, that is department and employee, for this relationship managers, what will happen is here employees having partial participation, isn't it? That means all the employees are not going to participate in these managers. So for some of the employees, when we enter data, for some of the employee, they are not going to manage any department. So it will have a null value. Okay,
Yes, yes,
but
ma'am. Cannot
the
be
thing,
reduced. Number of table cannot be reduced.
uh, no, means number of table, yeah, we can reduce the number of table if it is if it is having total participation, because if it is having total participation, then
Yes,
we will not face any problem later on. Okay, as one of them is having partial participation, some of the column is going to have null values, many tuples is going to have null values. Means that for employees who are not managing department, for those employees the department details are going to be null, isn't it? But we can't have department number, because combination of department number and SSN is going to be the primary key, isn't it? So we can't have null in your department number. Okay, that is why, means this is the actual thing that is going to, means the actual problem that we are going to face later on if we merge these two particular tables. Okay, so those things I want you people to know. Do you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
How about here? Again, same thing for works for. If for this works for, if we use merge relation approach, then what will happen is there is going to be many redundant information about the department. Okay, because many employees are going to work for a single department. That means redundant information means it will for a particular department, the employee details, the employee number of employees are going to be a multiple values, isn't it? So that is why again redundant data will be there for the department, details about a department who is having more than one employees working in working for that particular department. Okay, so that means if we do some updation in the particular table related to a department or an employee, then we have to do the updation for that department, means for each and every tuples that is related, means that is for, means that is having the value, same value for the department. Okay, so it will be a very inconsistent, means some inconsistency might come there. Okay, so that is why we can't use the merge relation approach here also. One thing is the first one here in step number 3 we can't use because we are going to have null values for the primary key attribute, okay, at some point of time, okay. And for this particular thing we can't use merge relation approach because of the multi values. For a single department many employees are going to be working, isn't it? So multiple employees will be there. That is why we can't use merge relation. Here again for works on event we can't use foreign key approach here. The same problem of multi values. For a particular project many employees might be working and an employee can be works in many projects, isn't it? So again a problem of multi values will be there. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are the engineers, we are the designers, and we are the creator of the database. That means if we do not have this proper knowledge about the constraints and these things before creating our database, then what will happen later on is we are going to face such problems. Okay, that means without using any constraint like null value constraint, foreign key constraint, entity integrity constraint, key constraint, if we do not apply this type of constraint that is available, and if we just create our database without applying any constraint, then what will happen is it will act as the same thing as the file, as your this one file processing system. Okay, means it is not going to have the properties of the database management system. So it depends on you as a designer. It depends on you to make your database having all the properties of a database management system. Okay, if you do not provide these things, if in the design, if there is any error made in your design, then you are going to face problem later on after creating your database and after using it. The users of the database, the end users of the database is going to face some problem later on. Okay, so that is why you have to follow the proper steps. The first one, first one is going to be analyzing the requirement. Even before analyzing the requirement, you need to collect the requirements also. But for our course, the requirement will be available, isn't it? Will be made available to you. Using the requirement specification, you will analyze the requirement and then you have to design it. And then by using the design, you have to create it. Okay, so the designing part is the most important part. Okay, if you have a correct design, then your database is not going to have any problem later on. Okay, so let us go to our today's lecture. So that is SQL. We'll start SQL, that is structured query language. So we already heard about this structured query language. This is a standard language for creating database, for manipulating database, and for doing many things on the database that you have created. Okay, so this is the language that we are going to use in our lab classes also. And in the lab class, the software means the database management system software that we are going to use is Oracle. Okay, so SQL here, as you can see, it can be categorized as data definition language, data manipulation language, data control language, transaction control language, and data query language. So we can categorize the commands or the queries, means whatever instruction we have in SQL, whatever command we have in SQL, we can broadly categorize them into 5. Okay, the first one, that is data definition language. What is this data definition language? Is by using it, we are going to define our database. But defining our database means defining the schema of the database. That means we are going to create the tables. Okay, create the tables that will be there in our database. Those tables that will be there in our database. So we are going to create tables where, and again what we are going to do is by using data definition language, at the same time, means creating table, at the same time what we are going to do is whatever constraint we need to enforce, we have to enforce during that time. Okay, as much as possible, whatever constraint you are going to apply, you have to apply it by using data definition language. Okay, so it is related to the definition of the database. So whatever command, whatever things you are going to write by using data definition language, that will directly affect to your metadata. Okay, that is your data dictionary. Whatever instruction you are going to give by using data definition language, it will directly affect to the your data dictionary, because data dictionary is going to store the information about the data that is going to be stored in the database, isn't it? Like the data type of the data and the constraint that you are going to apply, like which data, which particular attribute is going to be the primary key, which one is going to be the foreign key, okay, like that. Okay, so all those details about the data will be means all those information, all those things will be given as an instruction by using data definition language, and after executing whatever details about the data will be stored in our data dictionary. Okay. So this is, in a simple word, you can means by using data definition language commands, you will be able to create, delete, modify your database schema. Database schema, okay, not related to the data that will be stored in the database, but the schema itself, means attributes, which attribute, how many attributes will be there in your table, which attribute will be having, means attribute, means what the data types will be given to each and every attributes, okay, and which attribute will be the primary key, which will be the foreign key, like that. Okay, so that is related. Data definition language is solely related to the schema of your database or the table that you are going to create. The next language, type of language, is data manipulation language. Now this is means data definition language is related to database schema, isn't it? But here data manipulation language is manipulating, doing some operations on the data that is stored in your database. This is not related to the design of your database. This is after storing data, or means whatever things, whatever operations we are going to perform in the data that is stored in the database, those instructions or those commands belongs to the data manipulation language. Like inserting data in your table, deleting a particular value, means a value of a tuple for a particular column. Okay, means updating again updating in the value of an attribute for a particular tuples. Okay, so all those things. So that is why it is known as data manipulation language. Deleting means inserting, deleting, updation that will be done to the data that is stored in your database. We have to do it by using data manipulation languages. The third one is data control language. Okay. So data control language is used for protecting the information that is stored in the database from unauthorized access. Okay, protecting the information. Means if it is a bank management system, what will happen is some of the user will be able to use some of the data manipulation language, but if they won't be able to use some of the data manipulation language. Like the customer of a bank. Customer of a bank will be able to see the balance in his or her account, isn't it? So means some users will be able to perform some operations, but other operations like updation and all those things will not be able to be done. Okay, so like that we can control these things, okay, by using data control language. So it is used to protect information stored in the database by from the unauthorized accesses. Okay, means you will means this one, a visit unknown will be able to update, but he or she will not be able to delete like that. Okay, so those things, authorization, we can give this kind of authorization by using data control language. The fourth one is transaction control language. It is related to transaction, like this one. Begin transaction, end transaction, commit transaction, transaction rollback, transaction undo, transaction redo. Okay, so all those things we already discussed what is transaction in a brief way, isn't it? So it is related to transaction control language. The fifth one, data query language. Again, it is a subcategory of data manipulation language. Okay, so if it is means in order it is we are going to retrieve information from the database, then we will be retrieving the information by using data query language. And data query language is also a subcategory of data manipulation language. Okay, we can't say whatever command we have in data query language, we can't say it is not a data manipulation language. It doesn't belong to manipulation language. It is a part of data manipulation language. Okay, but still data query language is a very important thing. That is why it is given as an individual category of language here, means as a different language here in the while categorizing this particular structured query language. So data query language is only for retrieving information from our database. Now let us see all these things one by one. The first one is data definition language, that is DDL. Okay, so we will see the commands that belongs to data definition language one by one. DDL, the first one is create table. Create table is the first command which we can use to create a table. Okay, so we already know what is a table, the relation, isn't it? So the syntax, we have to write it like this: create table. We will write create table, and then after that we will provide the table name. Okay, so table name, whatever table name you want to provide, you provide it here. Okay, but the name should reflect the operation, means the purpose of the table. Okay, you can give any name, but it should reflect the purpose. Okay, we already know as a programmer, we already know it is a good programming practice, isn't it? So this is the table name that you have to provide, and this is the command that we are going to use: create table, table name. After that, inside the parentheses, what we are going to provide is all the attributes that will be there in your table. Column 1 here, this is the attribute name. You have to provide attribute name here. Column 1, column 2, till column n. You have to provide the attribute names. Okay, and after that you need to provide the data types also. Data types. What data types are available in SQL? You just search it. Okay, and there are many data types that you can use. So, and then here, if your primary key, if the primary key is a combination of one or more attributes, then you can give the primary key here like this, and then inside the parenthesis here, you have to provide the column names. Okay, and if it is if there is only a single attribute as a primary key, then you before this comma, you just give the keyword primary key. Okay, like that. like this. If it is made up of only a single attribute, then you can give like this also. Okay. This is the syntax for creating a table. And the constraint that we can apply are given here. You can see here this one. These are the constraints you can apply while creating a table. Not null, you can, if there is an attribute which means for which you can't have null value, then you can provide not null. Unique means you have to provide unique value for a particular attribute. Then you can provide this constraint. After data type, you just have to give the constraint that you want to apply. Primary key, I have already shown you how to give it. Foreign key, I will show it how to use all this constraint with an example, but for now we have this constraints. We have not null constraint, unique, primary key, and then foreign key, and then check. Check means if say for example in the hostel mess database, the value of the type of the hostel, we want only N and we want only B and G there, isn't it? Whether it is a boys hostel or a girls hostel. So we can provide this check, means it should be either B or G. Other than that, it cannot have other values. Okay, so like that you can provide the constraint. Default, if an attribute have a default value, then whatever tuples we are going to insert, the default value will be given for that particular attribute. Okay, so like that you can give the constraint. Let us see an example. This is for creating the employee table for the company database. Okay, the first one is the fname, first name, varchar. Here this one is your data type, varchar 15. Okay, means it should be made up of 15 characters. Okay, and not null, I have provided this one, a constraint here. It can't be null. So that is why, means whenever a tuple is inserted, you can't give null value to this particular attribute. It means that particular thing. Okay, and then mname, we have again varchar. lname, we have given the data type, after that not null. ssn, here I have given char. Okay, this, do it as an homework. What is the difference between this varchar and char? Both of them are string, means whatever we are provided here, according to this, it will give the length. But what is the difference between the varchar and char? It is known as variable length character, and this is just character. Okay, group of character made up of 10 characters. So just see what is the difference between these two. Okay, both of them means in order to have a string, a string value, you can use both of them. But what is the actual difference between these two? Why I'm using char here in SSN and why I'm using varchar here in the name attributes? You just check it. Okay, and your SSN is going to be primary key. But that there is a data type that in your SQL, so we are providing that particular data type that. Address again varchar, sex, it is means it will be means it will have a single character, so that is why I'm not providing any size here. Okay, salary decimal 10,2, so after point how many digits we can have, it means it will be given by this 2. Okay, and how many numbers, how many digits will be there in as a whole, then it will be given by this 10. Okay, so salary decimal, this is again another attribute, another data type. You just check all the available data types. Okay, and here see, check, we are providing a constraint check here. Check whether salary is greater than or equal to 5,000 and salary is less than equal to 1 lakh. So what all employees are going to have salary between these two. If we provide a salary less than 5,000, then we won't be able to insert the tuple. There will be an error. An error message will be given to you because we already provide a constraint here. It should be between 5,000 and 1 lakh. Okay, so like this we can provide constraints. Super SSN, again other things here, foreign key, how to give means how to give this constraint. Here it is shown here, foreign key and then super SSN. That means this super SSN attribute is a foreign key. Okay, referencing where to the employee, again to the employee table SSN, referencing to this primary key of the employee table. You have to write it like this. In order to apply foreign key constraint, you have to write it like this. Okay, foreign key, the attribute which is, you have to provide it here, foreign key attribute, and what it is, where it is referencing, you have to provide it here. Table name and the primary key. Okay, again department number is also a foreign key, isn't it? DNO is also a foreign key. So it is a foreign key referencing to the department table, primary key of the department. I'll tell you one thing here. This employee table is referring to the department table. So you have to create the department table first before creating the employee table. Okay, and again you means you will be able to see it later on. The department means the department table is, again there is a manager SSN there in department table because we use foreign key approach, isn't it? So again that is also a foreign key referring to this employee. So how you are going to create employee and department, which table you are going to create first? Okay, all this thing you just do it, means do it as an homework. If you are not able to get the information about this, you can ask me later on, but for now you just check all the available, whatever things I told you today is, you have to check all the available data types. After that, you have to see the difference between using varchar and char. When we have to use varchar and when we have to use char. Okay, if it is representing a string. If it is representing if it is representing a single character attribute, then we can use char. Okay, this is same as your C program. But you have to check the difference between varchar and char. That is the second thing you need to check. After that, what table how you have to do this reference? What tables you have to create first? Whether you have to create employee first or whether you have to create department, because there is two relationship between employee and department. Okay, and in the employee table there is a foreign key which is referencing to department, and again in the department table there is a foreign key referencing to the employee table. So which table you have to create first and how you have to do that. This is the three things you need to do. Okay, in the next class I am going to ask this. Okay, so this is the first DDL command, that is create table. After that we have alter table. So by using alter table we can add a column, okay, in the table that is already created. And by using alter table we can we can delete a column, means we can delete an attribute, okay, that is already, means that for the table that is already created in the previous command. And again we can also modify. So how we are going to write is, here the syntax are given. Alter table, you have to provide the table name. After that write the keyword at. Okay, here this is SQL is not cache sensitive. Okay, you can use either small letters or capital letters. Okay, but here in this particular presentation, I'm giving all the keywords in capital letter. All the capital letters I'm writing here are keywords. Okay, so this is in order to make you understand which one is keyword and which one are other variables, or the column name, table name, all those things. I will provide it as a small letters, combination of capital and small letters. So you have to provide the name of the table here. After that, the name of the column here and the data type. So this is for adding another attribute in a table that is already created before. And the next one is for deleting a column from a table. So you have the same thing again, you have to provide the table name and then the column name. Okay. Drop column, here drop column is a keyword. Okay. Alter table, modify column. This is for modifying name of the table, name of a column or data type of a column. If you want to modify it, you can modify it. Even you can modify the data type also. So you have to provide the new data type here. Okay. So this is another DDL command. Again, it is related to your database schema, isn't it? It is not related to the values that will be stored in your database. So that is why it is another DDL command. Again, some other DDL commands are drop. This is for deleting a table. It is used to delete table from database. The syntax is drop table, you have to provide table name. Truncate is for removing all the records from a table, means all the tuples. If you want to delete all of them, then you can use this truncate table, this one command, truncate table, and provide the table name. It is not going to delete the whole table, okay? It will delete only the values. If you want to delete the whole table, then you have to use drop table. Describe, the DESC. This is for describing the table. If you want to see the schema of your table, relational schema, then you can use this command, describe, and then provide the table name. It will show you the available attributes, each means it's this one, data types, and the constraint that is applied to the data type, all of them. Details about the table will be shown to you if you provide this command. Okay, I think this is all about DDL. After that we have your data manipulation language. You have to remember all the commands, okay? So insert, here the first one is insert. Insert into, this is the command that we are going to use in order to insert values in our table. Okay, so syntax is given here, insert into, provide the table name. After that, whatever for the column that you are going to provide values, you have to write it here. After that, you will write the keyword values, and then you will provide the values inside the parentheses. Okay, for this column, the value will be value 1. For column 2, the value will be value 2. Like that, it will go on. So the number of column you have provided here and the number of values that you have provided here should be same. Okay, it might be different in, am I audible? I think
Yes,
I
ma'am.
lost my connection.
Ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
Okay, can you see the screen? Can
Yes,
you
ma'am.
see the presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The next command is update, DML update. So this is for updating values. This is for updating values of a particular tuples or of a set of tuples. Okay. So update, you will write the keyword update a command. This is a command, okay. You to update and then provide the table name, set column 1 equal to value 1, column 2, whatever updation you want to do it, you have to provide it here with the new values. Okay, column name, new value, column name, new value, where condition. Okay, if you want to update for a single tuple or for some set of tuples, then you have to provide a condition here. If you do not provide any condition, then for all the tuples, it will update these values. Okay, the new values will be given for all the tuples if you do not provide any condition here in this where clause. Okay, so such things are known as clauses. Here, the keywords that I'm giving, the update keyword is your command, the actual command. Set is another clause that you have to provide, in the update with the update command, and where is also another clause. Okay, and there might be some clauses which is compulsory for a particular command, and there might be some clauses which is not a mandatory clause. Okay, here for the update command, set is mandatory. You have to provide it. This is a necessary thing, necessary clause. But where is not a mandatory clause, means even without this where clause it works. Okay, so when I say clause, you have to know these are the clauses, and when I say command, then this is the actual command, isn't it? So this is the actual command. So this is for your update command. The next DBML command is delete. This is for deleting values. Okay, so delete from table name, you have to provide table name, and then where clause. Again, where clause is not a mandatory thing. Okay, and again, even you can see here, this is another example. Delete star from table name. If you provide this command, then what will happen is every values will be deleted, means every tuples will be deleted from this particular table. Okay, then which command it is same as, means there is another command that we have already seen in DDL, which is used for deleting the tuples. What was that? We see just few slides before.
Truncate.
Yeah, truncate. It is same as truncate. It works same as truncate. If you provide star here, then it means all. Star means all. Okay. Delete all from table name means delete all the tuples from table name. If you want to delete some few tuples, then you have to provide conditions using the where clause. Okay. So this is another DML command. Let us see, is there any more DML command? Yeah, no. That is it for DML command. The next one is DCL, that is data control language. Okay, so we have grant. This is the, I think, yeah, there is grant, and another one is revoke grant. Yeah, revoke. Okay, so it has only two commands. One is grant and another one is revoke. Okay, so grant is giving privileges, means to a particular user. Okay, to a particular user, you have to give the privileges, means which command, which data manipulation language commands he or she can use. Okay, so those authorization you can give by using the grant command. So how it is going to use, means whatever DML, this is the DML commands, isn't it? Alter, delete, again even we have DDL also. Alter is a DDL command. So whatever command the particular user can use, we have to provide it by using the grant command. So grant object privileges means this privileges. If we want to this users here, the users will be provided, the name of the users will be provided here, okay. So to this user, if we want to grant only delete command, then we have to write here delete. Okay, if we want to provide the privilege to use select and update, only select and update, then we have to provide here the privileges here, select and update. Okay, on table name, the table name we are going to provide it here, and the list of usernames. If it is a single user, then we will provide the name of the single user. An example is given here, grant select update on employee to XYZ. There is a user XYZ for the employee table. Then to this particular XYZ, I am providing the privilege to use select and update command on the employee table. Okay. So grant all means we are granting all the privileges, means he or she can use all the commands. Okay. Grant option here. Grant option, again, grant, we can also provide the privilege of grant option. Means to XYZ, what is happening is XYZ, we are providing all the privilege to use all the commands. Okay. And again, he or she can also give grant option to other users. Okay. So you can give this grant option also. If you want to revoke whatever privileges we give to our users, if you want to revoke it, then you can revoke by using the revoke command. Revoke object privileges on table name from users, like this. Okay. The next is TCL, transaction control language. So commit, I will have to write only commit. After writing all the instructions that belongs to a single transaction, if we provide this commit, then it is instructing to commit. Okay, commit means whatever updation, whatever operation we have done so far, just reflect it to the memory. Okay, so commit, we can provide commit. Rollback means whatever operation we have done so far for a particular transaction, roll it back means undo it. Okay, undo them. So rollback is that for that. And then set points. Again, we can provide set points in a transaction. So if a transaction is made up of thousands of instructions, okay, if a particular transaction is made up of thousands of instructions, then in between we can give set points. Okay, so whenever we roll back, we can roll back to some set points. We will be able to roll back to some set points. Okay, instead of rolling back to all of them. Okay, so that is for providing set points. This is the TCL commands. The last one is DQL, that is data query language. So this is the most important thing, means for writing queries we have to use data query language. We only have one command here, that is select command. Okay, so every queries we are going to write for retrieving information, we have to write by using this select command. Okay, so we'll see this in the next class, because we will be giving some 1 or 2 class for this data query language. So we'll start from the next class. Other commands, all these things, that is TCL, DCL, and then data manipulation language, data definition language, you just remember the commands and its purpose. Okay, this is not that difficult. I think means they are just having some simple syntax, and you have to use remember the syntax. You have to use the syntax in order to perform your tasks. Any doubt? Okay, then response your attendance. Today is 17. Abhijit,
Present, ma'am.
Akash,
Present, ma'am.
Atul, 3 Atul, enrollment number 3, absent. Enrollment number 4, absent. 5,
Present, ma'am.
present. 6,
Present, ma'am.
present. 7, 7 Satyanarayana, absent. 8, present. 9,
Present, ma'am.
present. 10,
Present, ma'am.
present. 11, 11 Chaitanya, absent.